What's up everybody, my name is Dwight and welcome back to GeForce Garage. Now we've had James Walter on our show in the past, but we didn't give him a chance to really show off his talent in PC modding. So we brought him in today to show us his completely impractical, but awesome, Blade Runner inspired PC mod that he's calling Tears and Rain. Well, welcome back, James. Glad to have you.
Thanks, Dwight.
So what was your inspiration behind this build?
So in general, it was last year, and it was around the time that the trailer just dropped for the new Blade Runner film. And the original Blade Runner, it's always been one of my favorites. So I started just thinking about the universe, really thinking about what do I want to apply and focus on with the build, and designed all 6 sides of the case, front, back, top, bottom, and the sides. All sides feature anywhere from 2 to 4 panels of acrylic.
Wow, this thing must weigh a ton.
Yeah, with the case itself, plus all the components and the fluid and everything, it's probably around 120, 130.
Wow.
So it's heavy.
That is a heavy case. What are the other notable features that we should be looking at?
So with the case itself, it's got 4 built-in reservoirs. So you can see clearly 2 at the front and 1 at the lower side, motherboard side. There's 1 up top as well. And then at the very front lower, you can see there's a Tyrell Corporation logo that I made using a vinyl cutter. There's a lot of detail in the build that you can't even see. For example, relabeled power supply, relabeled radiators, relabeled fans, all done using either printed or cut vinyl by myself to incorporate the branding from that universe into the build itself.
So I noticed one thing that you haven't talked about yet is that there's an actual screen inside of your computer case.
Yeah, so those familiar with the original film, one of the most iconic pieces of imagery is flying across the cityscape, and there's a billboard of this geisha. So I decided a 7-inch waveshare monitor built inside the case next to the motherboard really triggers that iconic film imagery.
Very cool. So I noticed that you have a lot of lighting in this that has contrasting colors. What was the idea behind that?
Big inspiration for that was actually from the movie poster for Blade Runner 2049, which had this antagonist crimson and protagonist teal. Okay. So the lighting is coming from using dark side RGB strips combined with the lighting that comes standard, of course, with the Corsair RGB RAM, and then the ASUS Aura RGB lighting that comes with the Zenith Extreme board.
And then all of your tubes are nickel plated, or?
So for tubing in the build and the fittings, I went with BitsPower Black Sparkle. The tubing itself is their Black Sparkle plated brass tubing, going into all BitsPower fittings as well.
Speaking of all the components in here, what are the actual specs of this PC?
So for this build, I went with AMD's ThreadRipper 1950X, which is being cooled by a water-cooled heat killer block. Up top, I've got 2 GeForce GTX 1080 Ti's, an SLI, also cooled by water-cooled heat killer blocks. For memory, I've got 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RGB RAM. Storage-wise, I've got 2 Samsung M.2 500GB 960 EVOs. And then on the back side, I've got 2 10TB BarraCuda Pros in RAID 1.
Wow. And
also back here powering everything is a Thermaltake Toughpower 1250 watt power supply. And the cables coming out of the power supply were all custom made by N-Source custom sleeve cables. All the fans are Thermaltake Ring Plus 120 RGBs. And last but not least, one of the big features of the build flowing through all the components is the new Primo Chill View fluid.
All right, James, well, it looks awesome. I do not envy the fact that you have to take this home because it looks super heavy. Thanks again for coming by.
Thank you, Dwight.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you for something else pretty soon. Thanks everybody for watching. If you enjoyed this type of video, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll see you for the next one.